Howie Roseman, he just said, "Screw it. I don't need a punter. We'll cut you." Hey, Howie Roseman's one step ahead of everybody always. We're going to talk about the initial 53-man roster, and I stress initial 53-man roster because it's very fluid. We're going to talk about all the cuts, all the non-cuts today, and maybe a little Phillies too. We'll see. We're getting bonus time right now, starting early, trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live in 30 seconds.
Fourth and goal.
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, X. You know the drill. Like, share, retweet, follow. It is free to do all that helps support and grow these great morning shows that we do every single morning. It is free. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Even if you're watching on replay, which we had over 200, almost over 240 views yesterday of the show. Over 140 of those were on replay. So make sure you're hitting that like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. It is the only morning show when you are live in the conversations or watching on replay. The only morning show where your opinions actually matter. I am Phil Stiefel, your host, as always. Follow me on Twitter at Beard and Knowledge. Eagles cutdown day. Final roster set initially. Good morning, Tyrone. How you doing today? Mad chatter already in the house today because the boss isn't watching. We got lots to dive into. K1, what is up? How we doing today? Everybody's excited to talk about this initial Eagles 53-man roster. I'm sure everybody's been waiting all day, all night. Couldn't wait to get in and talk what happened with Howie Roseman with some of the cuts that were made yesterday. And as Howie Roseman said during his post-cut down press conference, this is a very fluid roster, very fluid situation in Philadelphia. Well, I am glad you shared that great information with us. I am very glad. And make sure you hit that like button. That's all that matters. You want to talk some Phils? Are you sure about that, K1? I mean, because Bryce Harper is the man. I don't know. It's Jalen Hurts and it's Bryce Harper, the two guys in Philadelphia that just get. Thank you, Peanut, for hitting that like button as soon as I said that. Bryce Harper is the man. You know what is happening. Side note: before we talk Eagles, you mentioned the Phillies, and I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if anybody caught Bryce Harper's post-game press conference. This is how much he gets Philadelphia. He, I guess, has a routine of listening to the radio sports talk shows on his way into the stadium. And I guess one of the callers, Chuck from Mount Airy, I guess he's one of the regular callers to the afternoon show, John Marks and Ike Reese. And he said, he was talking about how much he loves Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's great for Philadelphia, blah, blah, blah. So Bryce Harper says he walks into the locker room after driving into work and says, "We're hitting a home run today, or I'm hitting a home run today for Chuck from Mount Airy." And he goes out there and does it and then tells the world that was his motivation to hit that home run. Bryce Harper just gets Philadelphia so well. Bryce Harper and Jalen Hurts, two perfect athletes for Philly. They do things a little differently. Bryce Harper's more the rah-rah guy. Yeah, I'm listening. I'm hitting home runs for the fans. I'm doing this, shaking hands, kissing babies. Jalen Hurts is, let me show more videos of pumping iron. This is an ultimate, time in Philadelphia sports where we have two guys in Bryce Harper and Jalen Hurts that are just, they get us so perfectly. When was the last time two athletes got us so perfectly at the same time? You guys got a super good tight end. We're going to talk about that tight end trade in a second. This is every troll's dream. No. No trolling here. What's going on, everyone? One day closer. That is right, Nick. We are so close. So anyway, back to the Eagles. Howie Roseman's cut down day. Heavy offensive line. I mean, talk about heavy offensive line always, but defensive line. 13 interior and edge linemen kept on the initial 53 roster, Tyrone. That's shocking. That's a lot. Only 3 linebackers. They did keep 7 cornerbacks, Tyrone. You can kind of get a little of an idea of what Sean Desai and his philosophy is going to be like on defense. Lots of cornerbacks and safeties and a lot of linemen, not much on the linebacker. They're going to play that hybrid role with so many cornerbacks and safeties that they kept literally 11 defensive backs. 11 defensive backs and 13 linemen. That's an insane number there. The balance there, it's insane. No linebackers, no punter, 4 tight ends. Some really exciting names that we were really hoping make this team. Devin Allen or Greg Ward or Britton Covey all cut. Nobody won the 5th wide receiver spot. Insane. No punter. And it's crazy. Howie's philosophy. We've always talked about how Howie Roseman playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Howie Roseman's using the initial 53-man roster to manipulate how this team is built. You don't need a punter until game day on September 10th against the Patriots. So why waste a roster spot? Aaron Sipos obviously terrible. Did nothing to earn that punt job. Was bad last year. One of the key moments of the Super Bowl was because of him. So why waste that roster spot? Let's keep one of these young guys like Eli Ricks on the roster. And then we'll figure out the punter move in two weeks. We'll bring in some guys for tryout. Maybe they'll put one on the practice squad. Can you put a punter on the practice squad every week and just elevate him? I mean, why not? Howie Roseman is manipulating the system. He's reading 3 steps ahead. He's looking at it, the future. I mean, let's be honest. At some point, there's going to be no special teams ever again. It's really kind of crazy the way Howie Roseman went about yesterday. It's apparent they plan on using Nolan at linebacker more than we thought. Tyrone, I don't know about you. I was a little concerned with Nick Sirianni's comments about Nolan Smith's health, saying that, yeah, we hope he's going to be there, but if not, like he didn't sound super positive when talking about Nolan Smith, whether he'll be ready for week 1. To me, that's a concern. You know, pretty confident it seems like that Hassan Reddick will be ready, but not so confident that Nolan Smith will, in my opinion. If you claim a guy off waiver, you have to put them on your 53. Yes, and you have to cut somebody because you've already got 53 spots. So I think the Eagles did leave a couple guys on their roster that can get cut. There's also a couple guys on their roster that could go right to IR, short-term IR. You have to keep a guy on your 53-man roster to then slide him over to the short-term IR position. So someone like a Jomo who had a concussion late in camp, or Patrick Johnson who made the initial 53, they could get slid over to that 4-game or 6-game IR, whatever it is, and then bring another guy in because they might not be ready, right? And that protects you from losing them on the practice squad. The practice squad is going to be really interesting to see how it shakes out. You need a holder for the place kicker. You do. Isn't that what Marcus Mariota could do? I mean, I don't buy into. I know a lot of people are saying this, that you wanted to keep Aaron Sipos because Jake Elliott, they had a good reputation holding for each other. Look, if you're making a decision on your punter because your kicker likes him holding, I think your philosophies, your game plan is a little wrong. Marcus Mariota can hold. Tanner McGee can hold. There's a lot of guys that can hold. Whoever the next punter is can hold for Jake Elliott. I'm not worried about it. Hell, we're just going to go for it on 4th down every single play. I'm going to come back to that comment. I didn't even read it. I would not be surprised if the Eagles are the first team to adopt the philosophy with no punter ever, that they just go for it on 4th down all the time. Just have your quarterback punt the ball. Hell, we got Randall Cunningham has punted the ball 90-plus yards before when he was an Eagle. Come on now. It's kind of crazy. Can't just sign one day before the game. Oh, Howie's manipulating the system. And there will be a punter here. It's just not necessary right now to try to put these guys, at risk on the field. You slide some guys over to IR, and then you've got 2 roster spots. And there are some needs on this roster outside of punting. Are we really gonna go with only 4 tight ends and 4 wide receivers? That was shocking that not Devin Allen, Greg Ward, Britton Covey, even, Joseph Nagata, none of them made the 5th wide receiver spot. That's right. Howie, no more punting. Just go for it. That's Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni wants to go for it every time. Why not? Each player can only be called. I know they can only. So you call a punter up 3 times, Tyrone, and then you go get another punter. And then you call him up 3 times, and you go get another punter. And maybe at one point someone goes on IR. There's a roster spot. Whatever. I'm just being sarcastic. But that would be another way to manipulate the system. And if there is a way to manipulate the system, whether it's roster, salary cap, whatever it is, manipulating another GM in a trade, Howie Roseman's going to do it. Why? Because Howie Roseman thinks differently than everybody else. Howie Roseman is a GM savant. It really seems like he's just on a different plane. It's so funny because we're going to talk about the 2020 draft in a second. But after that 2020 draft, I mean, still at that point, going into 2021, very few of us, including me, we were not fans of Howie. In a short, and he had already won us a Super Bowl at that point by building a perfect Super Bowl roster. The reputation, has anyone's reputation changed so positively in a 3-year span as much as Howie Roseman's had? It's crazy because he had already won us a Super Bowl, and we still already hated Howie Roseman. But now, if you go and ask 100 Philadelphia Eagles fans, or just 100 Philadelphia sports fans in general, you know, what's the percent they always talk about with presidents that is approval rating? I bet you Howie Roseman's approval rating right now would be in the 90% area. And if it's anything less than that, they ask the wrong group of people because that'd be crazy. So if you have a guy like Trey, no one claimed then, and put on the so Trey Sermon, well, guys. So the way it works is they all have to go through waivers. And if you claim him, he has to go on your roster. If not, then we can add him to our practice squad if he chooses. Some of these guys, I think Trey Sermon's going to get picked up. Tyree Jackson probably could get on the practice squad, but they have 4 tight ends. Why do they even need a practice squad tight end at this point? I don't know how they start a season with 4 tight ends. I want to say once Howie did do that. That's why I take notes. Yes, in 2021, we did start the season initially with 4 tight ends on our roster, but I don't think we stayed that way for the whole year. We'll bring in a linebacker and a wide receiver. Got to bring in a 4th linebacker. I can't see the season going with just 3 linebackers on the active roster. I know Nolan Smith, Reddick kind of play that linebacker role to an extent, but you got to think they're going to bring somebody in. And a 5th wide receiver, they still don't know who's going to be the punt returner. All they do know is that Nick Sirianni said that Jordan Mailata is not going to be the punt returner, which makes me think he's thought about Jordan Mailata as the punt returner before. And who wouldn't want Jordan Mailata as the punt returner? But as the roster stands now, OZ might have to return punts. Boston Scott's going to be your kick returner. Maybe one of the safeties or cornerbacks has some experience, doing it. I don't want Devontae Smith. I know people have said Devontae Smith. I don't want him to be the guy. But there's guys there that could do it. Even if he's not ready, we have enough depth at edge rusher. I think he'll be played sparingly. 5 sacks, I think, is fair. I was working on a sheet for next week as we get set for the season. My over-unders. I was working on that the other day. I don't even know where my over-unders are. I know I have a page with a bunch of over-unders somewhere here. Oh, no. Somewhere my over-unders are written down. And we're going to have that. 5 sacks, that's like max out for sure to me. Sippo says bin juice. Look, Sippo's had a bad year. 4th and 4 from your own 19, going for it. Why not? Our chances of getting there on 4th and 4 are pretty strong. No, we don't play this Thursday. It's next Sunday, the 10th. New England Patriots, 4:00. Phil, if you were as much of a football nerd as me, you would be pumped on that tight end. All right. So everybody wants to talk about this tight end. I want the punt god. Yes. The punt god is available. And, I forget who it was. Someone posted something on social media, on Twitter, about him coming to Philly, a big network with a lot of followers. and how do you say his name? Azira or Riza or whatever. Um, his agent retweeted it. So at least there is some conversation about the Eagles. All right. So the Eagles did Legatron got cut again. Yeah, we're gonna get to this tight end in a second. Why is Phil being so flippant about punters? Look, it's a dying breed. Talk about how Howie Roseman's become a genius. It's crazy because he wasn't always that way. I feel like Howie and Nick are a perfect match. They are. They like look at each other with this like love. Like, when you see them on a press conference, there's like an inside joke going on between them always that we don't know. Tyrone, looking at this roster only shows how difficult it is to make an NFL roster. Very thin in spots. Cornerback room ripe for manipulation. Absolutely, the cornerback room is ripe for manipulation. Um, they didn't want to lose Eli Ricks. They really felt that pick six Ricks was a candidate to get plucked, so they kept him. Maybe the Goodrich guy, maybe he's a guy that gets cut eventually. We'll see. We're going to talk about Kayvon Wallace too in a minute. Who would put Trey on the active 53? Trey Sermon? I mean, somebody. I mean, there was enough rumors about him potentially being traded before cutdown that somebody might want him. I would not be surprised. I would not be shocked. As soon as they cut Germanio, I can't see that. I told people that's who Bills need. They signed him last night. Good. I mean, great. I don't know who that is, but okay. I don't know. I don't know who the Bills 53-man roster is because I don't care. What kind of return do we get for Barnett? Surprised he wasn't traded. Um, they really really pushed a hard bargain in that press conference on Derek Barnett. Really really did. Um, Saying how much they like him, they understand his desire to play more. Um, they really were trying to up his trade value in that press conference massively. Um, that could be an open roster spot. Maybe they find a taker finally for Derek Barnett. Maybe they get a fifth or sixth round pick. If they don't get a fifth round pick or conditional six that could turn into a fifth, I think Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni keep him. It's unfortunate. I know he wants to play more elsewhere. We spent a lot of time talking Derek Barnett yesterday. It's a shame. But I actually have no problem with him being on this team. And him still being on this team right now tells me that they are worried about Nolan Smith early in this season. Barnett is relatively cheap this year. If BG or Sweat go down, yeah, but it's not just Sweat and BG. It's also Nolan Smith already being down. K1. I think him not being traded and him being on this roster is because they're concerned about the health. Brandon Graham's 35. Josh Sweat's had injury issues. I mean, keeping Derek Barnett right now is important. You can never have too much edge depth. You can't. Eli Ricks will have a long NFL career. I don't think you're going to find anybody on this show that disagrees with you there, mister. Not at all. And there's a reason why the Eagles kept him, even though he made some mistakes in preseason games, because the raw talent's there. And he would not have made it to the practice squad yet. We get a signed we get a signed Joe Burrow jersey for Barnett. And I would love one of those all white with the black trim Joe Burrow Bengal jerseys. They're tight. They really are. Azaria was falsely accused. It seems like he was. He was cleared. And the Eagles have brought in people and given them second chances before. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles are the guy that gives him his second chance. You have to play Barnett 2-3 games to build up his value and hope he doesn't have any penalties. And then in 2-3 games, Nolan Smith's 100%, and we're good to go. So that's what you do. Phil, what's good, brother? What's happening? Hope all is well. And I do like the 53. It's interesting. There are some surprises. I'm still stuck on this wide receiver tight end. I want to catch up on comments and then get to tight end here. What is up, Drew? How you doing today? We will trade Derek Barnett at some point. Barnett will get us a six. I want more than a six, but I feel they package him with somebody to trade for. You want me to fill in the blank? It's like we're playing match game here. The Eagles will trade Derek Barnett for blank. Yeah, I mean, maybe a wide receiver, maybe a linebacker. I don't know. We'll see. What is up, Anthony? Tony, how you doing, my man? Admit it, Phil. You're not so much of a dork as me. I'm a dork in my own way. All right, let's talk about this tight end because the Eagles fans are hyped, and this was the whole point. Howie Roseman made a trade yesterday he traded a 6th-round pick for a 7th-round pick and a tight end from Denver solely for one reason: to hear me pronounce this name on Trending the AM. Howie Roseman watches this show regularly and knows how hard it is for me to pronounce names. Albert Aquag Woo Bunham. Aqua Bunham. I'm sure. Then you throw in his middle name, Chuck Wamka. Oh my God. Albert O. We got an OZ and an Albert O. So he trades a 6 for this Albert O and a 7. And people seem to be so excited. What have we talked about on this show all off season? Since we've been doing Eagles talk nonstop now for over a month now, is that the depth at tight end is bad. Dallas Goedert misses times. Jack Stoll's a good blocker, a good number 2. Calcaterra, whatever. Tyree Jackson almost made the squad. Yet everybody's hyped over this Alberto guy. And I want to know why. Because why are we concerned with our tight end depth? Simply for one reason. Because Dallas Goedert misses time. He has missed 12 games over the last 3 years, 5 last year. Okay? So what does Howie Roseman do to address this issue? He goes out and gets another guy that misses even more time than Dallas Goedert. So how is going and getting another injury-prone tight end to back up your injury-prone tight end? Why are so many Eagles fans so excited? Because to me, I got his stat sheet up here. His rookie year, he only played 4 games because he got hurt. He had 11 catches in those 4 games, 1 touchdown. In 2021, he played 14 games, so he still missed 3 games. He had 33 catches in 14 games, 2 touchdowns. And then last year, he only played 8 games. He missed 9 of the games. Only had 10 catches in 8 games with 1 touchdown. Yes, he had 7 catches for over 100 yards in his last preseason game, but I don't get the hype behind Alberto. Yeah, he's 6'5", he's a physical specimen, but what do we say? You got to be in. You can't be in the tub to make the club. And you just got another guy that spends more time in the tub than on the field. Observer saying to Mista, I think the coaching staff knew something. Someone would poach him off our practice squad. Absolutely agree. What are your thoughts on Simmons and his weird love affair with Philly? Oh, we're going to get to that, Marshawn, for sure. I almost wore my Ben Simmons shirt today because of that. Oak Wune Bunam. Oak Wune. It's Alberto. I just can't do it. I can't do it, man. I don't know what's with Howie bringing in all these guys with tough names to say. I mean, really. I appreciate it, but I can't do it. Another person, Aqua. I like the way you did Aqua Bonham. I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell it is. Just joining in, and thank you. What is up? How are we doing today? The Observer, missed the saying to the Observer. Rick's length and fluidity of moon. He is, and that's why he's on this practice squad, or he didn't get pushed to the practice squad. Dangfield, great research and counterpoint. Look, the Albert O thing, it just confused. He's a talent. He's a raw athletic talent. He's no different. Look, we just cut Tyree Jackson again because he can never stay healthy and stay on the field. If you're going to go with a raw talent on this roster as a 4th tight end, they might as well have just kept Tyree Jackson. At least he knows the system. At least he knows the playbook. And you have a chance there. The Albert O, he's literally, I forget the exact number. Let me do the math real quick. So he has played in 26. So he's been eligible to play in 50 games in 3 years. He's only played in 26 of them. He has missed 24 games in 3 years. 24 games in 3. And I complain all the time about Dallas Goedert missing 12. The guy's missed 24 games, and everybody's hyped. Now, it didn't cost us much. It cost us, we basically swapped 6th and 7th round picks for this guy. But if you're going to go this route, you might as well go with Tyree Jackson. Again, I'm not bashing the move. I'm more questioning the fans' excitement over it. I'm hyped about the running back room. Name an aspect of the running game we don't have covered. The running back room, Tyrone, is a big reason why we've only kept 4 wide receivers to start with. Because DeAndre Swift can split out wide if necessary. Kenny Gainwell can split out wide if necessary. Hell, Rashad Penny's not a bad receiving running back either. He doesn't get the credit. He has hands. Good morning, Adam. What is up? How you doing today? Appreciate seeing you. I would argue it's totally worth the gamble. I mean, Alberto's healthy. It's worth a gamble. Can he stay healthy? Exactly. Everybody's just hyped up because he's 6'5". He had a 100-yard game in the 3rd preseason game. Caught a touchdown or 2. Look, it is what it is. But, look, I can't say names. That's why we just call him OZ, our 4th wide receiver. I love our running back room, Tyrone. But to answer your question, health. There is the health issue. And that's why they kept 4. If they only kept 3, they wouldn't have been able to keep so many injury-prone guys. If I'm Howie, I know Arizona going to ship Buddha out for less. Yeah. Oh, if you're going to go get Albert O, you go get Zach Ertz. At least he knows Philly. Again, I'm not questioning what Howie did. I would never question Howie anymore. Howie is, earned the right to do what he wants and us to just accept it. But I will say, Buddha is so ripe for fleecing. Look, you go get Buddha. Then you lose out on Justin Evans, and they seem to be high on Justin Evans. But I'm okay if they go get Buddha Baker. I still think right now that safety position is last on the pecking order. Right now, they still got to find a punter. They still got to find another wide receiver, maybe another linebacker. All 3 of those things. Howie's putting claims in on people right now. We might come on this show tomorrow, and there could be 5 new guys on the 53-man roster. Really, it really could. Oh, we co we boo na boo da boo da blah. Look, it's Albert O. Plain and simple. That tight end has an African name. We're seeing more and more African players. Yeah. I'm still just going to call him Albert O. I can't do it. Aqua played drums with Led Zeppelin. Look, I'm telling you, one of these names that don't have a face for a profile, one of you guys is Howie Roseman's burner account. I will stand by that. Somebody here is Howie Roseman, and is only trading and bringing in players with names that I cannot pronounce. You look at this. You got him. You got Oz. You got Ojomu, or however Tupolodu. It took me like 3 years to figure out how to say Tupolodu. What else do we got here that I can't pronounce? Yeah, that's pretty much it right now. But still, Mojo Ojumo. They got rid of a couple other guys. Yeah, Howie Roseman just wants to mess with me. K1, are you Howie Roseman? No. You're not Howie. I know you are. Anyway, lots of surprise. We could talk that tight end as much as you want. Is anybody else that surprised me? One of you guys is Colangelo. Well, somebody, Marshawn, you already said it. What is up with Ben Simmons last night or yesterday saying on a podcast or an interview, the only place he'd ever want to be traded to outside of where he's at now in Brooklyn is right back here to Philly. I really thought about busting out my Ben Simmons jersey for the show today. I did, just for a point. Why not, It's kind of funny how after all this time has passed, what could you imagine if Daryl Morey's final move was to bring Ben Simmons back for James Harden and re-bring back the process, and we go win a chip with Ben Simmons in his second tour and Joel Embiid? That would be so like you could do a 5-part mini series on that. That story would write itself. I'm teaching myself how to speak an African language. They use sounds that English speakers aren't used to pronouncing. That's very interesting. And props to you for trying to learn that stuff, man. Really, really props to you because that's tough. Probably more practical to learn Mandarin. That's not easy. I don't know what we're scared and throwing up from. My Ben Simmons jersey, come on. You want to take Ben Simmons, run the point with Tyrese Maxey coming off the edge? Wake up, bro. No chance. Oh, it's not happening. There's no way it's happening. It's just funny. What if? Come on now. Have a little fun. We're having fun this morning. Don't we like to have fun here on Trend the AM? Is this whole Ben thing a case of abused returning to the user? Yeah, you might need. We would all need therapists if Ben Simmons came back to Philly. We would. It's not happening. It's not happening. No one is ever winning a title with Ben Simmons ever. It's just fun, man. I hate Ben Simmons. Instant hate face. All you people that burned your Ben Simmons jerseys, you all have to go back out and buy a new one when he comes back to town. Hilarious. Back to the Eagles, because forget about Ben Simmons. Isn't it so nice when we don't talk Sixers on this show? So much less stressful. Can't even joke about it. Sorry that I brought it up. Sorry, Marshawn brought it up to begin with. Hell, Ben is shooting up to 20 shots a day, isn't it? Dude, Ben Simmons has had a Hall of Fame career in YMCA gym video offseason highlight reels. If you just took all his highlight reels from the gyms in the summertime, he's a Hall of Fame basketball player. But you take anything they did on the court in a real meaningful game, he's obviously not. Joel will never sign up on a Ben trade. Yeah, no. I mean, Ben Simmons did come to his back and choke out Karl Anthony Towns, didn't he? So maybe there's some deep love there. You have to get a therapy. This is our therapy. Oh, I'm glad I could be your therapy. Sorry, dog. It's okay. Let it out. Let out all your internal feelings. Just do it. It's okay to let all those feelings out. Back to this roster for the Philadelphia Eagles. Are we surprised that Devin Allen, Greg Ward, Britton Covey, and Joseph Nagata, I'll put his name in there too, all did not make this team? I really thought I wanted Devin Allen to make this Eagles roster. I thought it was going to be Britton Covey, but I'm surprised they didn't keep them all. The odds are, honestly, that all of them pass through waivers. Maybe Greg Ward doesn't. Greg Ward actually doesn't have to go through waivers because he's a vested veteran. He could just sign wherever he wants immediately. So maybe he comes back on the practice squad. The odds are all these guys that we're overvaluing Devin Allen, overvaluing Britton Covey, Deion Kane. Odds are we're overvaluing a lot of these guys, and they all clear waivers and come back here. And maybe that's how he's playing. To bring back 3 wide receivers on the practice squad and elevate one every single week. I mean, think about it. Britton Covey wasn't initially on the 53 last year. He got brought up from the practice squad the first 3 weeks and then had to get his contract signed because you couldn't do anything. So, I'm surprised, but also when I think like Howie realizes these guys most likely aren't going anywhere. Honestly, the Ben thing might be the weirdest news to saw. It really was. It really might be that was not on my bingo card yesterday, Marshawn. It really wasn't. None of those guys were going to get sniped from the practice squad anyway. K1, I really think that is why some of these moves got made. Like someone like Josiah Scott not getting picked up, Ben Van Sumeren not getting picked up, Nicholas Morrow may, Trey Sermon may, but the rest of these guys, they're not going to go anywhere. Covey and Morrow, I'm shocked. I'm shocked on Covey. Nicholas Morrow, I'm not shocked on. Said it before, I don't think Nicholas Morrow is that great of a linebacker. Christian Ellis outplayed him. I'm just surprised we didn't keep a 4th linebacker. That's all. That tells me that either Morrow comes back on the practice squad or that he's bringing in somebody else in a trade today or picking someone. There are like 300 linebackers cut yesterday. I'm sure there's one of them that Howie likes more than Nicholas Morrow. Is it possible that Howie's stacking D linemen for trade bait? It is possible he's stacking D linemen for trade bait, and it's possible he was stacking cornerbacks for trade bait as well. It is for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. He is going to be. I would put. I'll put the bet out here. Over under 4.5 new players on this team by the time we go live tomorrow. I'm going to say that there's a chance that over hits. Probably plus 100 to minus 140 that it doesn't. But I would take a stab that there's 5 players different on this team tomorrow. A linebacker, punter, a wide receiver, who knows what else. Greg Ward is greater than Mariota. He might be. We all fought. It's crazy. We kept 3 quarterbacks, and Howie doesn't like keeping 3 quarterbacks on his roster. Marcus Mariota could be a trade bait somewhere. There are 2 teams, Kansas City and New England, that only have 1 quarterback on their roster right now. Maybe Marcus Mariota gets traded. Maybe that's part of those changes that are going to happen over the next couple of days. Trade Joel Embiid and Harden, build a team around Maxey, Ben Simmons, and P-Ball Paul. Missy, you're just trying to start trouble there with that comment. Totally start trouble. I want you to be here, but I have guys that if I cut, we lose. Yeah. I mean, 3 linebackers with Dean expected to take major steps. I'm shocked, and I'm still waiting for something to come through. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of change happening today. What is up, Eric? How you doing today? Glad you got in. I'm going to cut you. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that handshake, wink, wink deals going on, for sure. Not shocked about any of the individually, but all of them were shocking. You know what shocked me? It's going to bring up an interesting conversation. I'm shocked that Kayvon Wallace got cut. I'll say it. Kayvon Wallace had a good camp. Kayvon Wallace played a lot in preseason games. Kayvon Wallace, I think they tried probably to trade him. Couldn't. I got a question for you guys. Kayvon Wallace is part of the 2020 Eagles draft class. And I'm shocked that he was cut. I really did. I thought this was his chance this year to take another step. Big special teams guy. Is the 2020 NFL draft for the Eagles the worst draft of all time or the best draft of all time? Because we drafted how many guys? I got it up here. I got to pull it back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We drafted 7 guys. Jalen Hurts being one of them, but 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were complete and total busts. Jalen Hurts, Jalen Reagor, Jalen Hurts, Davian Taylor, who was cut by the Bears, Kayvon Wallace cut by us, Jack Driscoll turned into a backup offensive lineman, barely. Jonathan Hightower cut by the Chargers yesterday, and Sean Bradley, who's on IR and has never been able to get past special team ace. Jalen Hurts, you get your franchise quarterback in Jalen Hurts, but you also missed on every other draft pick. Under 5. Yeah, I think the 4.5 is a bit of a stretch. Maybe I should have said it at 2.5, but there are going to be 2, 3 new guys on this team tomorrow. Upwards of 5. Do the core 12 get wrenches or some sign now or later? You get nothing. You get nothing. Under but close. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes on this roster for sure. Trying to catch up on some comments. Kayvon is practice squad desperation keeper. I don't know. Kayvon, I can't not see Kayvon get picked up. So if Kayvon ends up on our practice squad, man, it says something about what the league thinks of Kayvon. It really does. But Ben Simmons needs to take his arse to Orlando. Yeah, well, he's not going anywhere. He's hyped to play in New England or in Brooklyn. He says he's already spoken to Jacques Vaughn about being the point guard, and that's what he's going to do. Zach Ertz, injury prone as they come, and old and worn out. You get a franchise quarterback, it's a win. Absolutely. But if Jalen Hurts does not become the man, or Carson Wentz never falters or never falls and is still our starter, that's a really awful looking draft. 2020 had Quez too. Did it? He is not listed. I had to click more items. I didn't know there was another line to this. There was. There was also Quez Watkins, Casey Tuhel, Prince Tega Wananugo, or whatever. So there's actually more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And only 2 of them are active on our roster right now. 2 out of 10. Not good odds. I really thought that Prince Tega Wananuga guy from Auburn was going to be really good. And Casey Tuhil, he's just another Grand Calcaterra. He's making squads, getting cut from practice squads. Terrible draft, but diamond in the rough. That's how I look at it. You got Jalen Hurts. Howie just failed. Just think about it. Howie is going from the 2020 draft to being like basically God mode. What's the wrestler? Some wrestler says he's God mode all the time. That's basically what Howie is. I heard Eagles plan to give Barnett 12 snaps per game. Yeah. Look, Derek Barnett is going to be on this roster to start unless he's traded. Derek Barnett's going to be on this roster to start because they're concerned about Nolan Smith's health. I meant special teams, not practice squad. Okay, gotcha on Kayvon. Look, I'm surprised on Kayvon. Kayvon Wallace to me, right there with Britton Covey as the 2 most shocking moves that happened yesterday. They really were, in my opinion. Could have had JJ and Hurts. May have been the best draft of all time. Yeah. Can you imagine you get Justin Jefferson and Jalen Hurts in the same draft? We wouldn't have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith right now. My man, Eric Kratz, who I've had on here from Sports Illustrated, is getting crushed on social media because he put a story together about the comments of A.J. Brown about people trying to divide them. Like, I've talked to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith a lot on the show. I'm not trying to divide anybody. Just trying to give props to the wide receivers on how great they are. But my man Ed Kratz, for posting that article because of the headline of it, got crushed on social media. He wasn't even saying anything negative. Quez is not a safe. Quez Watkins, I wonder, we talked about whether these guys will make it to the practice squad or not. Will Quez Watkins even get picked up elsewhere if he was cut? It would be questionable. What's your thoughts on the big tight end? Well, I already addressed it, but I'm going to do it again. Eric, and my opinion is that Eagles fans are overranking him at this point, without a shadow of a doubt. Overrating that move. And why? Because what do we talk about with Dallas Goedert, Eric, all the time? He's missed 12 games in the last 3 years. Well, this Albert O character has missed 24 games in the last 3 years. Availability is everything in sports. And Albert O is never available. It's my same concerns with Rashad Penny, my same concerns with DeAndre Swift, same concerns with every injury-prone guy we bring in here. It was the same concerns I had with Landon Dickerson when we drafted him. Landon Dickerson had 3 straight season-ending injuries in college. Now, he stayed mostly healthy in the pros, But when we drafted him, I was concerned. Now maybe our physical, our doctor team here can keep Albert O healthy. And if that's the case, great. But if you're going to go get an injury-prone Albert O because of his pure raw athleticism, why don't you just keep Tyree Jackson? Because that's what he has, and he doesn't stay healthy. At least Tyree Jackson knows the roster, knows the playbook and whatnot, and has been around for a while. Make him say the name. No, it's Albert O. I tried once. It's Aquabone. Look, I don't know if I said aqua. I'm not sure if I used the word aqua. I said oak. Oh, maybe I did say aqua. OKW. Aqua. Look, yeah. All right. All right. Enough. Enough with the pronouncing awful names. Why do we do this to me every single time? Jerry Jones traded for Trey Lance because he missed out on Jalen Hurts. Look, we addressed this before. That's a situation right there. Trey Lance spoke yesterday. Breath of fresh air being in Dallas now, supposedly. I've never heard anybody say that before. You hit on a top 3 quarterback, then your GM is king. It doesn't matter that he missed on every other pick. They took Jalen Rager over Justin Jefferson. He got Jalen Hurts. That's all that matters. Look, guys, somebody make a shirt with that with my face trying to say aqua, whatever it is. Look, guys, we are 40 minutes into this show because I went so early today, and we only got 13 likes. Likes are free. Shares are free. Sharing this show out is free. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. I greatly appreciate it. Even if you're not commenting. Was there guys cut better than Wallace and Morrow that we could make a play for? There probably are, Eric. Quite a few. And I said it right before you joined the show. Howie Roseman will make this roster will be drastically different tomorrow than it is today. By September 10th, this roster will be drastically different. There's going to be a lot of moves. You're not going to keep 7 cornerbacks on the active roster, probably. You're not going to keep 13 interior and exterior defensive linemen. You're just not. So there's going to be some changes. There really will be. Is safety the lowest value position and easiest to replace or running? Running back is the easiest to replace and least valued. Safety or linebacker. I don't know on defense which one is lower. On the Eagles, linebackers ranked lower than safety, man, chatter. Maybe across the league, safety is a little different. But with the Eagles, linebackers lower value. I'd rather have to overrate AO than have to overrate Trey Lance. Yeah. I mean, look, the Eagles weren't bringing in Trey Lance. That was never happening. Yeah, at some point, acquiring all these snake-bitten players are going to bite us. Look, got a lot of injury-prone guys that we've brought in this year. I'm not saying anything negative. Well, I am. I'm not questioning Howie because Howie's a genius at this point. But at some point, it's going to backfire. You can't have all injury-prone guys. You just can't. Going to be hard to keep both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They both will garner max contracts. Might have to let Dallas Goedert go to keep them both. I trust Howie to make the right deal. A.J. Brown still got 3 years left on his contract. He's still a year or two away from meeting his extension. Devontae Smith will get his big payday this offseason. So we'll at least have both of them or all 3 of them this year and next year. I forget what year it is, Mr. 2025 maybe. There's new TV money coming into the NFL that the salary cap are going to skyrocket. So maybe we can keep them all. We'll see. Dallas Goedert would probably be the first to go out of the 3, though. For sure. Knowing Howie Roseman, you think about it, he's always got the next tight end. We had, Chad Lewis and brought in Brent Selleck. Chad Lewis goes, Brent Selleck steps up. They bring in Zach Ertz. When Brent Selleck moves on, Zach Ertz steps in. Then they bring in Dallas Goedert. Then Zach Ertz moves on because he gets too old. Dallas Goedert slides in. They don't really have the true replacement for Dallas Goedert yet, though. Jerry Jones hoping that Trey good. Look, said it yesterday. Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. Trey Lance is not the answer, though. But that might be what they're thinking. And if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm asking out. JFK thought Dallas was a... Oh, my God, Tyrone. I don't know what to say. I really don't. I might need to just stop the show right there. Tyrone, comment of the decade. What minute are we at here? 44:40. I am crazy. Tyrone, I don't know if you're on Twitter or not, but that is going up on Twitter later today. I don't even know what to say. Guys, keep commenting. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. I just got to recompose myself. That was comment of the year. Took my like away from your day. Oh, okay, okay. I appreciate you. Imagine being a third string quarterback and getting traded to a new team to be the third string quarterback. Breath of fresh cigarette air. Sorry, Marshawn. Good comment. But Tyrone wins out. Um, Aqua greater than Trey. Tyrone. Um, Howie nowhere near done. Not at all. Howie is not even close to being done. When I go live, so I got some special news. I'll do it in a second. Let me read this one here from Mister. If they don't know what's happening, check out the 2020 drafting of Jalen Hurts. About to have a good old fashioned controversy. They didn't bring a first round talent draft pick to take a filled position. Fair, fair. So tonight, oh, what's up, Mitch? How we doing? Go Birds! I predict Hollywood for third. I don't know Hollywood Brown. I don't know. Who deserves a statue after another Super Bowl? I like Howie with the binoculars or Howie on the phone. Man, I would love the Howie with the binoculars. That's Judlin's thing because that's what Judlin had as his profile picture as for a little while. I don't know where Judlin is. We haven't seen Judlin in a couple days. Core 12 guy disappeared for a few days. Howie Vision binoculars would be awesome. So tonight, this roster is going to change so much that by tonight. So I am going back to where it all started. My first podcasting network, my first podcasting team, A8. They're now called AAT Sports Network, AAT Birds, all about the birds. That's where I started. I helped found and helped build that to begin with. I left to venture off to do my own things and join some other networks. Whatever reason, that didn't go well. Learn to move on and patch things up. So for the first time in it feels like 3 million years, I will be appearing on the AAT Birds Weekly Report. The show we never went. It was my idea to start going live. We were just doing podcast form. I was the one that said let's go live. A lot of other podcasts weren't going live. We did it. I suggested it. Everyone else copied. We started in draft night 2020 is when we started this show. And it's going to be an honor to go back home where it started. So I would me and Johnny, the original founder, we haven't seen eye to eye on a lot of things. We don't see eye to eye on the Albert O thing. It'll be fun to see how me and Johnny on the same screen for the first time in 2+ years get along or don't. So it'll be really fun and shocking. I would love you all to come and show some support to the AT Birds kids tonight. AAT Sports Network, 9 o'clock tonight. It's gonna be crazy. First time in years that I've been on their network. The network that I helped found. Fun fact: PA is the only NFC East state district to not have a. Oh my God, what are we doing here, guys? Phil, would you do a show with Philly 500? I'll do a show with anybody. I mean, well, I shouldn't say anybody. I do check to make sure people, are respectful and decent. I don't try to do shows with people that have lots of controversy. But sure, if Philly 500 needs me on a show, tell them to hit me up. I'm always game to do shows. I try to do at least one guest spot a week. It doesn't always happen work-wise, but I get a lot of requests, and if they fit in my schedule, it's great. I see it. Yeah. Stifle Vision in full effect. What's Stifle Vision? Where are we coming up with Stifle Vision? This is not WandaVision here. Need you back. Hey, Mitch, you know me. If it works in the schedule, I'm always game for you guys. I am. And you guys were doing a great show last night, too, Mitch. Look, get your popcorn ready. I mean, tonight going on AAT Birds could be popcorn worthy. Me and Johnny didn't see eye to eye on a lot of topics. So it'll be interesting to see how good. We both agreed on Jalen Hurts, though. We both agreed there. And he's pro Alberto. I'm not pro Alberto. So we've already disagreed on Twitter last night about that one. Phil and Dan Cilio, 2020. Why wait till 2024? My calendar's open. He doesn't work in the morning, Dan Cilio. Just saying. Dan Cilio, I'm calling you out. There's a free spot right next to me, right here. Anytime you want to battle, and let me ask you why you say the things you do, the open line is there, Dan Cilio. If you can prove that you're a respectful person, maybe I unblock you or unmute you. Just saying. I'm giving you an open forum to the people to prove that you're not Cilio. That you're Cilio, not silly man. I'm giving you the platform, Dan. I'm going to start calling out Dan Cilio every day. So someone tells him, Phil, about to lay at the SmackDown. Look, I'm always respectful when I go on other people's shows. I never start problems. Don't. We'll see though. It was my original show, so we'll see. Look, long story short, had the falling out. Things have been mostly patched up. Honor for them to ask me. Cilio works. I don't know what Dan Silly Man's job is. Like from what I heard, he's on Jacob Media, but they don't pay him. He pays for the airtime, but then he sells advertisements. That's how he makes money. So maybe he works for himself. I actually don't know how that platform works there. Dude, I call out Dan Cilio and Chris Sims every day. They can sit right next to me here. I'll even invite them into my house. No, I won't like him in my house. But man, watches ESPN all morning to research his day. Yeah, he watches ESPN to steal hot takes and surfs Twitter to see what's pissing Philly fans off the most. Get out here, Cilio. Look, platform's there. How did we get onto this? I was praising my original team, the AT Birds, for the great work they've done. And it'll be great to be back on the show tonight. Marshawn always says Jakib Sports. Yeah, maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. Maybe it's not Jacob Sports. I don't know. Knowing how I pronounce names, you never know. All right, back to this Eagles roster. Back to what we've been talking about here. I haven't really gotten your guys too many opinions on this wide receiver thing. Should they even worry about if they're really truly going to keep 4 tight ends? So I think the wide receiver tight end thing, kind of, having 8 in that scenario versus 5 and 3. Are they really going to keep 4 tight ends? If not, is Grant Calcaterra going on the practice squad? Or Jack Stoll getting cut? Which would be a big mistake if they did. But if they keep all 4, are they only going to keep 4 wide receivers? And then just bring someone up at random from the practice squad? I'm really curious how this wide receiver tight end situation plays out. I really am. Because I can't see only 4 wide receivers dressing on game day. Unless you plan on running I saw somebody on social media say Grant Calcaterra maybe transitions to a wide receiver role because he's a good pass catcher but a terrible blocker. I'm not sure how this is going to play out. It doesn't make sense, but Howie Roseman's very creative with the way he does things, and he's thinking progressively here. Do we go back to we used a lot of 2 tight ends. We used so much 12 personnel when Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert are both healthy and playing here. Maybe we do use a lot more two tight end sets. But that, are you really going to go 2 tight ends? I see more 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end. You can't have 3 wide receivers out there every play when you only have 1 backup. They get hurt. I just don't understand it. They're not cutting Stoll. No, I hope they don't. I saw somebody say Calcaterra moved to wide receiver. I saw one person say Stoll get cut. Doubtful on the Stoll. That would be a huge mistake, cutting Jack Stoll. I'm not a Jack Stoll fan, but what he does, the blocking aspect of the game, is very important, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. How he plans on working that practice squad like a bullpen. He's got to. Especially if all these guys clear waivers, and he has all these guys he cut yesterday. He's got his, what's there, 16 or 17 guys on the practice squad, and you can only call him up, 3 times? Nobody's knocking down doors for Devin Allen. Greg Ward wouldn't be on this team still if people were knocking down doors for him. Britton Covey, no one was knocking down doors for him. He is going to manipulate that practice squad a lot. Stoll can block, and they need blocking. Yeah, absolutely. And if they run more 12 tight end personnel, or 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, Jack Stoll might be that extra guy, not Alberto on the field. The Deion Kane is the answer. Don't call me Dean Kane. Look, I'm higher on Devin Allen than Deion Kane, man, chatter. I would put Deion Kane out of all the wide receivers cut. Allen, Covey, Ward, those guys would be ahead of him. He would be 4th on all the wide receivers cut, ahead of Nagata, and that's about it for me. Ben Simmons wants to be back in Philly. He wants back in Philly as much as Carson Wentz does. I almost think he said that just for people to start. So maybe he doesn't get booed as much. Excuse me. Anyway, I think Ben Simmons only said that for the likes. Maybe just to win some fans back onto his side. Maybe. Is it possible? I think it is possible. All right, we're hitting the 9 o'clock hour here. So we're pausing for 10 seconds for station identification, only on your Philadelphia Sports Network channel here. We're watching Trending the AM, guys, here on Philadelphia Sports Network. I'm Phil Stiefel, your host. We're talking Eagles 53-man roster. We're talking Howie Roseman. We're talking Ben Simmons a little bit. Make sure you hit the like. Likes are free. Shares are free. We got 17 likes so far on this video. Not enough. So make sure you hit that like button if you're watching and telling everybody to join the conversation. Kenny G and Swift, Albert L and Grant Kutcher are all glorified wide receivers. I'm good with just 4 wide receivers on the roster. All right, who's your punt returner right now, Anthony? I'm just curious. I really, truly am. Because I don't think anybody has experience. They've practiced at it, but no one has experience at it. And it could be a problem. So you have Hurts and AJ, so we're good. Exactly. I mean, as long as no one gets hurt, we're fine. Expect a lot of empty seats or sets with Swift and Gainwell, who is much better. Yeah, okay. I thought it said seats for a second. Sets. Yeah, you're going to see both of those running backs on the field a lot this year. And Swift, I think, according to ESP, had the most targets out of the backfield from running backs. So you're going to see him in the slot. You're going to see him line up in the backfield and run out. They love those little wheel routes. You're going to see a lot of creativity with Kenny G and DeAndre Swift for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. I will defer to your Eagle knowledge. Always defer to my Eagle knowledge. No one's smarter than this guy right here. No one. You have to have guys who can operate in your system and the culture. The culture is everything. It really is. That's why Howie's got to be careful with who he brings in. You don't want to wreck the culture. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys culture was already wrecked. And then they went and they bring in Trey Lance to wreck it even more at Mitch. Because we be the only team to play him. But we can't have another player with basketball playoff PTSD. Again, the Ben Simmons stuff's just a joke. The Ben Simmons stuff is just for fun. It really is. Is DeAndre Swift good enough to play running back and wide receiver? DeAndre Swift is potentially a very close. Deebo Samuel's a wide receiver that plays running back. If there was a Deebo Samuel that was a running back, DeAndre Swift would be it. Running back that plays wide receiver. I think that's, I don't know if he's as the same level as Deebo Samuel, but he's got some of that same potential and some of the same play capability as Deebo for sure. You're blowing your nose is the most honest take. Look, I can't help it, man. You guys don't hear me. I hit the mute. You didn't hear me blowing my nose. You just saw it. I could take my face off the screen next time too if you want me to. Sorry, allergies are just killer. And real quick, get back to the comments in a second. It's raining. I can hear the raindrops falling. Actually, the sun's starting to come out now. It was raining a few minutes ago. I got to give a shout out to my people in Florida. Hurricane Idalia, I think it's. I don't know. Again, I could pronounce that wrong. Idalia is going to be crushing the northwestern part of Florida today. So shout out and prayers to all my Florida people. I love Florida. I want to move there someday. My man Joe Castro, Philly. I know he posted that he got out and got to Orlando to a safer place. So shout out to everybody in Florida. It is going to be a long 24 hours for you guys. So shout out to everybody in Hurricane Idalia's path. I mean, Georgia's going to get hit. The Outer Banks are going to get hit tomorrow with it. And I'm a big Outer Banks guy. I got married in the Outer Banks. So shout out to everybody in Idalia's path. Stay safe. Hopefully you've evacuated if you needed to. So let's get back to the comments here. Boston Scott is the punt returner. He's the kick returner. I don't know if he's ever punt returned before. He made the roster likely for special teams reasons. He's definitely your kick returner at this point. Has Boston Scott punt returned before in game action? I don't know. Hit us with the link for the pay-per-view fight later. I will on Twitter. They haven't shared the link yet, so I can't put it in the shows right now. AAT Sports Network. It'll be fun. I'll share it on Twitter. I'll share it on Facebook. Once they post it, of course, I'll share it all out then. Phil, do you think they hold Swift back a lot and start unleashing him more late in the season, like we did Miles? I think the running back way it's going to play out touch-wise is the hot hand at first. Eric, you're probably saying you'll hold him back a little bit so he's healthy for the playoffs. I think it's just going to be the hot hand. That's what they're going to do. And if he's hot one game, he'll get more touches. That's why he's the Eagles running back, or at least the top 2 guys, and Swift and Gainwell, are going to be tough to choose from in fantasy football every week because who's going to get the touches? You're not going to know. They're going to run both of them in the first quarter, and whoever the hot hand is the one that's going to play the most. For sure, Marshall. Prayers up to Florida, man. They're going to get crushed. Southeast Georgia going to get hammered too, for sure. Um, Prayers up to everybody and Adalia's. Did I say Adalia right? Um, I know you live in Fort Myers, my man. Um, my in-laws have a house in Fort Myers. I've looked at Port Deposit before, which is just north or south of Fort Myers. If I could ever sell my pizza shop, me and Anthony are going to be neighbors because I'll be moving to the Gulf Coast between Clearwater and Fort Myers someday in my life. I love that area. Clearwater, I know they were getting a lot of flooding. I saw some videos of that. But prayers are up to everybody there in Florida right now. I think the Kayvon Wallace, Boston Scott thing really will be the hot hand, though, guys. Yeah, my man. We'll do live shows together. We'll set up a studio. I'll move close enough so we can do a studio, and we can do a studio show, me and Anthony, every day. We're gonna do a studio show at the pizza shop in the coming weeks, and watch a game at the store. So maybe we'll do a studio show in Florida someday. I really like the makeup of this team. Yes, there will be changes, but I believe they have the best roster based on and I think that's key, Tyrone. Howie Roseman, we've said it before. He's one step ahead of everybody. He sees what this league is becoming, and he's not being reactive to it. He's being proactive to it. I think that is key. And there's very few, if any, questionable character decisions on this roster right now. And I think that's big. He's not bringing in guys that aren't going to fit the culture of this team. He's making very, very strategical decisions to look at the future of the league and where it's going and how to keep the culture of this locker room lockstead in place. And I think it's big. Let's see. What do you got here, Mr. Big Play Slay says he wants to play some wide receiver and punt returner. I say let's see what he can do. Yeah, I mean, give him a shot at wide receiver. Sure. He's been saying that for years, though, Mister, and it hasn't happened yet. Aren't most cornerbacks just wide receivers that can't catch the ball? Sorry. It's like punters aren't, or like kickers aren't athletes. Cornerbacks are just bad wide receivers. Um, yeah, I mean, you could do it if you want. I mean, maybe he could punt return. A lot of you see a lot of cornerbacks and safeties have punt return and kick returned in college. They just don't do it in the pros for some reason. Normally stick to running backs and wide receivers. But I'd give a shot to anybody. I'm just curious who it's going to be. St. Pete's a great. I'm a Clearwater guy, man. Chatter. Clearwater Beach is where it's at. Best beach in America. Outer Banks are pretty damn close to it too, as well. When Slay returns kicks, I start demanding a series. Exactly. I don't want him returning. Look, again, we're just going to go for it on fourth down all the time, and other teams are just going to have to start matching us. Howie's going to be the first team. The Eagles are going to be the first team that just don't have any punts or kicks all year, and then teams are going to start doing it. How many big thumpers are playing linebacker so you can play running backs with multiple? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you don't see the old school Vince Wilfork defensive tackles, nose tackles anymore. The game's changing. Why do you think Terrell Edmonds got so much work at linebacker during camp? It's why Darius Slay's getting work as slot cornerback. The flex unique guys that are position flexible, position creativity there. Look, you're not going to see Nakobe Dean and Zach Cunningham on the field. Your two starting linebackers every single play. You're going to see a lot of one linebacker sets because that's the way the NFL is eventually going to become. You're not going to have there's no more 4-3 or 3-4 defenses. It's just not the way the NFL is anymore. You're going to see a lot of 5-1s, 5-2s, 5-1-5s, 5-2-4s, 4-1-6s. You're going to see a lot of different lineups like that, and that is the way defenses are going. And I'm starting to build a little bit of confidence in Sean Desai's defense, and that Sean Desai probably had some say in who was kept and who wasn't on this 53-man roster. Like, this is the system I'm running. This is the type of players I need to be successful, Howie. Howie brought those guys here or kept those guys. Keeping 7 cornerbacks. I mean, it's unheard of. Let me see. Let me see if it's unheard of. Actually, I think he did do it once before. And I'm not sure. Here, let me see. Page back. That's why we got a notebook here. No. He's kept 6 cornerbacks last year. Howie Roseman only ever kept outside of last year, only ever kept 5 cornerbacks on this roster. He's got 7 this year. Now, maybe one is a trade candidate, but keeping 7 cornerbacks on the initial 53-man roster when it's 5, 5, 5, and 6 the last 4 years tells me something. It's the way the league is going. Aggressive cornerbacks that can tackle, that can play up on the line of scrimmage. Clearwater is the best. There is nothing like Clearwater. Hybrids. I think it's some in the NBA. A lot of positionless basketball. There is no point guard, power forward, center. Everybody does a little bit of everything now. There's so many 6'8" wingmen in the NBA that there's a lot of position flexibility. The NFL is eventually going to um, the NFL is eventually going to go to a lot of positionless defenses where you got linebacker safeties doing the same thing, cornerback safeties doing the same thing, edge rushers playing linebacker. It's the way the NFL is going. It's good that Howie's proactive. I think they'll be more aggressive on defense. And yes, I mean with blitzes. I was thinking this the other day. He blitzed actually Sean Desai a lot more in preseason than I expected. Because you normally run very vanilla defenses and offenses in preseason. But he ran a lot more blitzes than I thought. So maybe he's tricking teams into thinking he's going to be aggressive, and he's going to be even more conservative come the start of the regular season. I don't know. We'll see. Um, Phil, do you even own a word processor? What's a word processor? Is that a new invention? I don't know. I don't know about word processor, but I know I can't word pronunciate. Um, I think that's why you guys all come on here because I can't word pronunciate. Um, NFL is turning into the NFFL, the National Flag Football League. I don't know about that. They still hit pretty damn hard. Um, they're just trying to protect everybody. And I have no problem with the league trying to do things to protect its players. We don't want our stars getting hurt. Look, yeah, sometimes they're a little too protective of the quarterbacks. I get that. But we want our best quarterback. We don't want Jalen Hurts getting hurt. We don't want Tom Brady when he was playing getting hurt. So we don't want our wide receivers when they're exposed, when they're trying to make a catch, having their ribs cracked. We don't want linebackers leveling wide receivers when they run across the middle. We want A.J. Brown out there. We want Devontae Smith out there every single game. So the NFL is doing what they can to protect everybody. And I'm okay with that. It's not turning into flag football. I get what you're saying. But on the flip side, I want the best athletes out there playing every Sunday or Thursday or Monday or Saturday or Friday or whenever they're playing. Because at some point there's going to be 7-day-a-week football. Do you have a JT take? Like they took their like that's actually a great question, man, Chatter. I didn't even put it on my list. It should have been on my list of things to talk about today, but it wasn't. Justin, I'm thinking Justin Thomas. Are you talking about Justin Thomas making the Ryder Cup team or Jonathan Taylor? I know you're talking Jonathan Taylor. Um, Jonathan Taylor not getting traded was a shock. And them holding on to him now. Now he's going to sit 4 games because he's on the pup list. I have no idea what Jim Irsay's doing there in Indy. There had to be a decent trade offer for Jonathan Taylor out there. The fact that there was no trade made, shocking to say the least. I mean, it seems pretty obvious that the Dolphins wanted him. I think they even cleared cap space yesterday just to bring him in and extend him, and it didn't happen. Stupid. Netscape. I still have Netscape 1.0 and AOL 1.0. Tuck rule Brady. I mean, I get it. Rules were made to protect Brady and the quarterback, but the point behind it also is to keep your players healthy. St. Pete is the best. 100% agreed. I've actually spent very little time in St. Pete, more in Clearwater, more in Fort Myers than St. Pete, but it is a great town. I like the take, Mista. I agree with Phil. If they stop now, but the $100 million are not going to get tackled soon. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Players are bigger, stronger, and faster. They have to save them from themselves with these rules. Tyrone, I think it's spot on. I really do. I was thinking they show the extra padded helmets in training camp to protect them and help eliminate concussions and stuff. I know they're not aesthetically pleasing, but I'd be wearing those helmets in the regular season, in regular games too. I'm sure you could paint that padding to look like whatever you want. I want my players playing. I don't want concussions. I don't want guys being cripples when they're older. You know, there's going to come a time with the way the NFL is, if they don't really work on taking care of their players in the health department, Tyrone, that football is going to get less. That there's a lot of kids that are playing soccer and basketball now. It's safer than football. You know, it's just the way it is. Indy's going to Indy. I mean, that's because Jim Irsay's there. Who's a worse owner, Jim Irsay or Jerry Jones? I mean, Dan Snyder would have been in that category, but he's not an owner anymore, for sure. Smith and AJ are like Moss and To on the same team. They are. But you want them to stay healthy. Way you keep them healthy is by protecting them with better rules for safety, better helmets, better padding. Science is advanced. Medicine has advanced. We still don't have a cure for cancer, but everything else is advanced. Peanut, running backs are getting ripped off, man. The next NFL will address this. Until then, one-year deals are going to be the norm. I would hate to have to sign a one-year deal as a running back, though, Peanut. I would. Because, you never know. You're going to get run to the ground and eventually be done. I don't know how we talked. We did a whole show on this when this all first started, and the phone call between all the top running backs happened. How to address it, and we didn't really come to an answer on how to address it because I don't think there is an answer or a way to address it. I enjoy every year like it's the last. The game I love is going away. It's changing, but it can change for the better, man. Chatter. You can protect the players and still have the NFL. You can still have hard hits. Hard hits, safe hard hits are taught on the little league level, in the high school level, on the college level. The problem is they're not taught how to hit safely. And it's this is where we're on in the NFL. Irsay is the king of spite. That's the only possible reason. It's possible. It very is. And it's a shame. Because we're not gonna look, Jonathan Taylor, fantasy level or value dropping like a heart. Or fast as it can. What's worse, meth or excess Johnny Walker Blue? What kind of question is that? First off, Johnny Walker Blue for $200+ a bottle is the most overrated bottle of booze you could buy. I'll stand by that. I don't like any Johnny Walker, but Johnny Walker Blue for the price, not worth it. Is it a bourbon or a whiskey, Johnny Walker Blue? I'm all about safety, but I want tackling. It starts, man, Chatter, on the lower levels, teaching proper tackling. That's what it starts with. Problem is they don't teach it. Then there is less participation of kids playing football in high schools nowadays. Absolutely. These kids' parents are pushing them to do. Absolutely agree with you. Without a shadow of a doubt. Soccer's becoming bigger in this country. Baseball, basketball. There's ways to protect your kids and playing football. There's less. There's a lot of people that say they wouldn't let their kids play football right now. There's pro athletes that say they won't do it. Johnny Walker Blue. It's awful. It's so overrated. I'm a Jack Daniels guy personally, not a vodka guy. 4 teams called on Kareem Hunt. I am not interested in Kareem Hunt, man. Chatter. No need for him. No need for. We just talked about culture in the locker room and bringing good character guys in here. I don't know if Kareem Hunt's the answer in Philadelphia. I think we're set with our 4 running backs right now. Pretty confident. The NFL should learn from XFL special teams. Yeah, look, special teams is going away. It's a thing of the past. It really is, my broadcasting, Mr. Peanut. Hey guys, 10 minutes left in this show. 18 likes, not good enough. Likes are free. Tell everybody to like this page. Irsay is a monster. Is Irsay the next guy that's going to be forced out of the NFL? Kind of like, what's his name from Washington was? Johnny Walker Red is Flint water in a fancy bottle. Johnny Walker's overrated. Yeah, I mean, I'm a gentleman Jack guy. Occasionally, I'll treat myself to one of those $60 single malt barrel bottles. I always wanted to try. They did the 100th anniversary Sinatra bottle. It's like $250. Someday, I'm going to treat myself to that. There's not many of them left. Their prices keep going up. But that is like a dream bottle of mine. But there are other great whiskeys and bourbons out there. Johnny Walker's just so overrated. Okay, don't play football. More 100 million for Phil. Yeah, that's right. Josh Harris is going to trade for JT in a second. Josh Harris would be a Josh Harris type thing. Phil, you should put on a blonde wig and the Enzo from WWE for Halloween. Why do you want me to be Enzo? Hold on, what was it? And you can't teach that. I forget the rest of it. How you doing? How you doing? I forget all his catchphrases, but he was entertaining as hell. How you doing? How you doing? Amen, Phil. Johnny Walker so overrated for the price. Absolutely agree with you on that. Sinatra is the goat. It used to be my thing. Whenever I drive to AC, I always right before we get there, last 10 miles, pop my Frank Sinatra best of CD and listen to it on the way into AC. Um, okay, your comment was about who was worse between Ursay and Jerry. Well, I don't know. All right, both are pretty awful, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm even trying to find the comment. What's worth next or excess Johnny Walker? But I get it. I get it. Both are bad though too. Um, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, we're wrapping this show up here. We're getting to the final 10. Well, I thought it was later. It's only 9:18. I don't know what I was looking at. I thought I saw 9:18 or 9:20 something, but it's only 9:18 now. Chilled Johnny Walker. All my bourbons and whiskeys and scotches are chilled. Um, I can't drink warm room temperature liquor. I have to have at least one ice cube in it to chill it a little bit. It is what it is. A bottle of Ripple. I don't even know what that one is. Ursay definitely is worse. Ursay's going to be gone from the NFL at some point. He's going to do. It wouldn't shock anybody if there was an email of him being, an awful owner or doing something like illegal or any of that stuff. Um, nah, they're weak sometimes. I can do better. I'm going to work on doing better impersonation. I can do good. My impersonations are better than my name pronunciations. That is for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. Better. Um, so I will agree to that. Mad Dog Tooth Brad, of course. Brad just going down to the Grand Sasso to get a couple 40s, because that's what you would do, right, Brad? After work, take all your tip money and go buy some Mad Dog. Um, Old Granddad, need a solid, reasonable price bourbon. Give it a taste. I've had Old Granddad before. I think bourbon. We got on a bourbon tangent here, even though we're an Eagles and Phillies and Sixers show every morning. We're on a tangent. We've done movies, we've done TV, we do wrestling. We've talked everything on the show. We're on a bourbon thing. Bourbon is a very acquired taste thing, and to me, Jack's the acquired taste that I like. I do like Evan Craig. I'm a big fan of them. Um, and there's another one that I like a lot of. I forget which one it is. I only remember it when I see the label. Phil, show up tonight loaded. Drink. I will be drinking tonight. I am not going back on All About the Birds without a cocktail in my hand. I will always be stopping and buying a bottle of something on the way home from work tonight. You can count on that. If you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, I will share it out. Not in the Discord that I still have not started for just me and Mad Chatter to have privately. I really like Howie taking a gamble on Isaiah Rodgers. Said it yesterday. It's a low risk, high reward move. You literally gain or lose. You lose nothing by taking that shot. Literally nothing. I played football in high school and college. I remember getting concussion a few times. A lot of players use their helmets to spear, and they're trying to do away with that, Mister. And some people say it's making the game fun because you want hard hits, but you can teach at those lower levels hard hitting safely. How not to lead with your helmet, how to not go. Now, there are times when a running back goes down to protect himself. There's nothing the defender can do. It's part of the game. I get that. But you could start teaching people how to protect themselves, getting hit and hitting at those lower levels. And then 5 to 10 years from now, the game will change in a good way. We are approaching the famous $500. Look, I got 2 massive catering orders. Um, so unless there's a $500 super chat, there ain't no overtime today. There's no way I can overtime today unless there's that 500, because that doesn't even cover the 2 catering orders that are getting worked on right now by the missus at the pizza shop. Not at all. All right, guys, I have to step my comment game up with the upcoming season about to start. Look, we are. What's today? Today's Thursday or when? Today's Wednesday. So we're what, 10 days away from the start of the season? Man, so excited. So excited. Old Granddad is not good. Ripple is Fred Sanford's signature drink. I did not know. I'm gonna stop at the store today to get something. Maybe I'll try it. We'll see. Evan Williams is not bad. Elijah Craig, or Evan Craig, whatever it's called. Um, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I do this stuff. You got to guess whether I'm doing it purposely or not. Sometimes it's purposely, sometimes it's not. If Phil did a whiskey bourbon review show, that would be epic. Should do like a taste testing, buy a bunch of bottles and taste test them live on the air. I need a bourbon to sponsor this show. Everybody hit up your favorite bourbon and tell them they need to sponsor Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. Sheldon Brown on Reggie Bush. Perfect example of a clean, hard hit without the helmet. Spot on, Anthony. Spot on. Um, Perfectly legal, perfectly hard. perfectly entertaining, that's football. Clean and safe. You can do it. And that's what we need to teach more of. Oh, we lined up to lines, ran full speed, and rammed helmets and drills. Well, that's why you're a psycho right now, man, Chatter, because of that. I use my helmet for protection. Look, I really think that they could do something with the helmets they use in training camp in the regular season. I think it's very possible. Um, Fred Sanford drank Ripple, and you drank Mad Dog. Dawkins on Crumpler, another clean hit. There are ways to hit people cleanly and still have a fun NFL, and we need more of it. I need some Ripple to get my wife to sleep. Not the comment of the day. That still goes to Tyrone with the still too soon JFK joke. Um, which now that I think about it, oh man, I'm back to Tyrone's joke. Sorry, Mister. Your comment's very funny here. But nothing beats Tyrone making a JFK joke. That takes balls of steel to make that joke. I'm probably gonna get dinged on YouTube for that joke, but it was well worth it. Well worth it. I will say that. I mean, I still now that I'm thinking about it, I'm back to Tyrone. Tyrone. That might be the comment of the year. It very well might be. Like bourbon, taste test at a live trending in the end. You want me to do bourbon testing at 9 o'clock in the morning? What are we at a Jimmy Buffett concert or something like that? We don't tailgate for morning shows before work. I do have to work 8, 10, 12-hour days after the show on a regular basis. Phil is really scared. I will bother him on Discord. It's more to chat with the core and other. Look, nobody else wants a Discord other than you. And I hate group chats. I will say that also. I am a big proponent that group chats are the worst thing in the world. Clowney on Wentz was technically ruled a clean hit, and obviously it wasn't. Yeah, we do all this to protect stuff, and then that happens. Sorry, you think I'm a stalker, guilt trip alert. You're not a stalker, man. You just really love this group of people, and I appreciate it. I honestly don't know how to start a Discord. I don't know how to get everybody in a Discord. And I need space on my phone, so I'm thinking of just deleting my Discord app because I need memory on my phone. If you're on Twitter, I can start a Twitter group chat that I can easily ignore. Brown, give me Troy Polamalu vibes, man. Too much? No. Look, Sidney Brown made the team. Sidney Brown's going to play a lot. The thing I would say about Sidney Brown is we're talking about hard hits and scary hits. Sidney Brown doesn't know how to throttle down. Sidney Brown's going to accidentally personal foul somebody this year because he's just going to play so hard. Sidney Brown needs to learn to slow down, when to speed up, when to throttle down. That is still my number one thing with Sidney Brown, him learning to throttle down, shift gears. You're on Discord too? I like I said, I got a Discord. I don't know. I don't even know how to get all you on the Discord. Maybe I guess I would have to start it and put it in the YouTube bio of the show. Maybe I'll do it. Hot take, Devontae. Mitch, that was my hot take. Like literally 6 months ago. And now it's blowing. It's like the media is making this big deal about it. The Eagles, AJ Brown's making a big deal about it. I was kind of saying that like 6 months ago. Maybe this whole AJ Brown, Eric Kratz is getting crushed for his article. Maybe it's all my fault. Maybe someone picked up on what I said. And that's why we're where we are with this whole AJ Brown, Devontae Smith thing. Where are we at here? 4 minutes left. All right, I got to start this wrap-up process. Tomorrow, any moves the Eagles make today, we will discuss. Tomorrow, we will get back to this Nick Sirianni thing. I didn't get to bring it up, that he's the 22nd in odds coach of the year. I want to talk about that more tomorrow. We will do that. We never got into this Eagles chant thing, how much I hate people making EAGLS chants at other sporting events. Lots of things. ML33, yes, Cooks may still look for number 27 when we play. He might, for sure. You guys made AJ Brown run upstairs and slam the door. Oh, he's crying. Look, all this AJ Brown, Devontae Smith stuff, I'll write it down. We can bring it back up tomorrow in the conversation. Verse Smith. I think it's being taken out of context, I don't think anybody is saying Devontae Smith is better. No one's trying to split them. We're just trying to say A.J. Brown's great, but so is Devontae. It's not like A.J. Brown's a top 10 receiver, and some people put Devontae Smith outside their top 20. No, no, no. No, no. They're both top 10 wide receivers. And we're just trying to bring light to the conversation that Devontae Smith is as good as A.J. Brown, could be better. Sidney Brown was the guy that looked like Cousin in a helmet. I don't even, hold on. Sidney Brown was the guy. I'm sorry, Eric. I don't. So Palomalo. He reminds you of Palomalo. I got you. I got to put both comments together. It's Philly, man. Shit comes with it. But it's always been wide receiver 1A, 1B. No one really believes it's a gradient. I agree. And I think that they're making too big of a deal out of what is a simple conversation. Anyway, 19, 20 likes on YouTube, not enough. 4 on Facebook, not enough. It is free to like this show. We'll be back tomorrow with lots of great conversations. I'm sure Howie will make some moves today that'll give us reason to have a conversation. If not, maybe I'll just make it an off Phillies show tomorrow. Maybe I'll really piss y'all off and make it a Phillies only show tomorrow. Maybe. Doubtful, but maybe. Maybe we will. But anyway, yeah, we're going to wrap this up for the day. Guys, check out AAT Sports Network tonight, 9 p.m. Me versus Johnny Uleka, 1 versus 1. A one-on-one. It's going to be a shebang. It is going to be, what did Jim Russell? We got a slobber knocker here. That's basically what it's going to be. Go Birds, my man. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody tuning in every day. It means the world to me. Days like yesterday, when I check the views right when the show ends and I see all these people have tuned into the show, man, it makes what I do here every day so worth it. Not just the core 12, everybody that tunes in. If you're watching this on replay, I check every comment, every single one of them, guys. And I try to respond to every single one of them. If you want to talk on Twitter, hit me up at Beard and Knowledge on Twitter. I'd greatly appreciate it. 805, I was good. Look, I gave you guys 10 minutes of bonus time without any super chats. He needs to watch the Palomar to study his game. Yeah. I get you. I get what you're saying, Eric. I get it. Just needs to learn how to throttle down. That's it. He doesn't need to watch Palomalo. He's got the greatest safety in football. Brian Dawkins always in the clubhouse. Tyrone, man, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for making the greatest joke of all time. Greatest joke of all time. Too soon, but greatest joke of all time. It took balls of steel to make that joke. I agree. Brown going to be a thumper and a strike fear. He is. Well, no show for me tonight. I don't have Twitter because I know I would sit on it. Look, I sit on it all day. But tonight, AAT Birds on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. It's everywhere. Peace out, fam. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up right there. Everybody have a great day. I am Phil Stiefel for Philadelphia Sports Network. This is Trending in the AM. Oh, my God. I got a last second. I appreciate it. You really want that bonus coverage. I appreciate it, K1. You are the man. Too soon? No. I don't know. We'll spend the 5 minutes bonus coverage here. Well, there's only 4 minutes because I'd already gone 1 minute of overtime. We'll spend the 5 minute of bonus coverage asking this very, very firm question. Was Tyrone's joke too soon? Is it too soon to make JFK jokes? Is it? Is it? We keep getting these $5 super chats. I'll be able to afford that bottle of Sinatra 100 in no time. Pushing $50 in super chat money in the month of July here. And I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Yes. Again, yeah. Bonus time is great time. You're ready to leave, man, chatter. now we're bonus time. 60 years is not too soon. I don't know. It might be. I don't know. I could just sit here and think about that joke and the timing of it and just be like, I can't believe it. But yeah, I don't even know what to say. I was ready to wrap it up. I wasn't expecting the 5 minutes of bonus time. That bonus time I would trade though. That $5 super chat I would trade for 100 more viewers today. We got to get this. When I see the ticker at the top, when it says 20, 22, 25, only 16 right now. I need that to say 100, 150 every single day. John Cena is back in the WWE. And he's going to be on SmackDown a lot lately. It's coming up, Mitch, for sure. I need to do a wrestling show, Mitch. We need to live stream SmackDown or something. Set up a live stream, and we'll live stream SmackDown one day. That's right. That's right. No spoiler. Is JFK okay? Oh my God, guys. Oswald did not. Oh my God. Pat Combs passed through. Oh, Pat Corral. For some reason, I thought you said Pat Combs. I was like, why? Why did I see Pat Corrales and think Pat Combs instantly? That goes to show where my mind goes with the Phillies on a very regular basis. Yes, Pat Corrales. Um, Corrales a pennant. Big deal right there. Eagles or Phillies coach. Is he really back? He is going to be back for like 8 straight weeks on SmackDown. They need some kind of star power on that show. Anyway, this 5 minutes of bonus time is giving me time to finish my most recent coffee cup here. I really am going to have to bring a coffee cup into this office here, or coffee pot, so that I could easily get fresh coffee on demand, so I don't have to milk this. I got to write down. I got to track all my super chats, so I know when to get paid on YouTube here. K1, I got to say, you are the man with that. You are the man that does it the most often. I greatly appreciate it. But anyway, back to my notes here. I finally respect John. Look, it was funny. I was at a pay-per-view. It was the Royal Rumble. John Cena fought. I forget where. Maybe it wasn't the Royal Rumble. I was at an event. Maybe Money in the Bank. I watched John Cena fight Mark Henry for the championship, and I cheered the hell out of John Cena. Not because I like John Cena's character, not like because I like John Cena, just because the man. How you not respect John Cena and all he does? Gave his heart to wrestling. All the stuff he does with Make a Wish. I mean, the guy is a legend, personally speaking. Maybe he's a bad actor. Maybe he's the 5 moves of doom. But the man did more for the wrestling community and the fans and the people than anybody. I mean, the guy was always there. He is such a good guy. He's better than a good guy, Brad. He's a great guy. John Cena, yeah. I hated his rap gimmick. His rap gimmick. I mean, you go back and watch some of his rap videos or things he would say in his promos when he was a heel rapper. Like, kind of insane. Like, he said some pretty offensive stuff back in the day before they went PG. Like, that stuff wouldn't fly now. But man, he was great. Collision had more talent than some WWE. I don't know. LA Knight. I'm a big LA Knight fan. I was when he was Eli Drake. 'Cause I'm a TNA guy as well. John Cena is every movie now. Yeah, he is, and he's not very good at it. The professor of thugonomics. His rap video, copying the A-Team, thing's a genius right there. House of Pain, Mark Henry. When he gave his retirement speech and then slam John Cena, one of the most underrated scenes in WWE history right there. You can't see me. And you can't see me anymore. 5 minutes of bonus time over. Wrapping it up. Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. It is free to hit that like button. It is free to share this out to your friends. And it's free to come in every single morning, 8:15 tomorrow. Don't know if we're going at 8:05. Definitely 8:15 tomorrow. You guys all have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget AAT Sports Network tonight, 9 o'clock. I'm going home, people. I'm going back to where it all started, going back to where the roots were. So we all have a great day, guys, and we will talk to you guys tonight on AAT Sports or tomorrow, guys. Have a great day. And again, shout out to Florida, man. Buckle up. It's going to be a rough day for you guys down there. Everybody have a great day. Go Birds!